Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So we were looking at the human pursuits, and particularly about moksha. We were trying to understand what is moksha. Moksha is sometimes translated as salvation, which is not the right translation, because salvation implies a certain condemnation, correct? Only condemned things we salvage. In fact, we salvage an industrial plant and all that means what? Or even a machine. Since basically it's a condemned machine, correct? It has come to the end of its life or something, and then if you are selling it to somebody who is salvaging the different parts and trying to recycle it, that is what is called salvaging, correct? So salvation is not our term, and we don't have to even use that. Moksha is not really salvation because there is no condemnation in our tradition. Some theologies condemn you as a sinner. Since you are condemned, you have to be salvaged. We are not saying anything like that. Just because you are born, you are not a sinner, nor a saint anyway. But our tradition is not condemning anybody. Everybody is potentially a divine person only for us. So the word salvation, we don't have to use with reference to moksha. Moksha is better translated as freedom, correct? Freedom is the best translation. Freedom from all limitations. Freedom from any limitation which is centered on myself. That is moksha for us. Sometimes the word liberation also is used. Liberation from bondages and all that, but that also is somewhat of a negative connotation is there, but that is also fine. Bandhat moksha, so freedom from bondages or limitation. Liberation also you can use. So freedom or liberation is the term which is a better term. Now this freedom from limitation cannot be newly created. This also we saw. Because freedom from all limitations implies that what I am seeking is the limitless. Now, if I am seeking the limitless, limitless cannot be newly created. Limitless has to be there already. Limitless means it is limitless with reference to time, means it is already, it should be there right now. It is limitless with reference to space. That means you don't have to go anywhere. It has to be right here, here and now. Limitless has to be here and now. It cannot be attained by traveling to some place also. In fact, if you have this understanding, most of the theologies become meaningless, because all theologies, whether they are Indian theology or desert theologies, all of them are promising you that you don't have any moksha here while you are living. You follow some particular devata, god, prophet, then you will go to Swarga, heaven, and there you will enjoy. Now, this my guru used to call it as tourism promotion. So, all theologies are really only tourism promotion. When they promote tourism, they will show you nice pictures. It will be really picturesque, correct? It will make you want to go there. They will never show you all the garbage dumps, all the crowd, maybe all the difficulties which you may face there. Any advertising promotion is only showing you the so-called nice things, good experiences. But if you go there, it's not the same thing many times. So that is tourism promotion. Even this tourism promotion with reference to heaven, how do you know you will like that heaven? Because even in that heaven, there will be taratamya, there will be hierarchy. Somebody will be closer to God. You are standing behind and you are not tall enough. You have to jump up to even see the Lord, let us say. It doesn't help you really. Or you become a part of the God basics. They have Salokyam, Sarupyam, Sayujyam and all also is being talked about. Samipyam also is there. Salokyam, Samipyam, Sarupyam, Sayujyam. Means you are in the same loka as Bhagavan. That is Saloka, Saloka, whatever, Salokyam. Then you are nearer, means Samipa. That means they are also saying somebody will be farther, somebody is nearer. That itself is a problem. Then there is Sarupyam. You are separate from Bhagavan, but you have similar form, it seems. Then you become one with Bhagavan, like amoebas are there in your body, correct? In fact, without all these microbes, you cannot even digest your food. They are all helping you a lot in the gut. Whatever bacteria are there, without the proper gut bacteria, you won't be even able to digest your food. They are all living there for generations. In fact, they have a better claim over your body than yourself. My Guruji used to say that. So we cannot claim even our own body. Everybody has a claim on this body. Your mother, father, they have a claim. State has a claim. That's why you can't do even suicide. It is illegal. So many other people have a claim on this body, but these microbes which are living in your stomach, they are there for generations. They are enjoying possession of your body. So in Indian law, I think possession is more important than even if you hold the title or not. Somebody is possessing something for 12 years and all that, they can claim ownership. So this body also, I think microbes only can claim them. Even if the microbes go to a court, I think the judge will say, no, the body belongs to only microbes. In fact, eventually microbes only take over the body also anyway. So anyway, the thing here is, Sayujyam means what? You will become part of Bhagavan. But which part? There also you may have some preferences. We don't know. I don't want to become the leg, or I don't want to become some intestine. I don't know really what is the physiology of Bhagavan. We can only guess. But all these things also, whether you will like or not, nobody knows. Somebody is crazy about cricket in India. So he says, if I go to Swarga and there is no cricket, I don't want to go. So how are you going to satisfy that person? So all this tourism promotion is not a solution. It is not moksha really, because what you are seeking is limitless. Limitless should be available here and now. Okay, it cannot be something which we reach after going to some place. So limitless cannot be created. You cannot reach it like going from Chennai to Mumbai or something like that. You cannot purify an existing thing and arrive at the limitless. You cannot modify something which is already there and also arrive at the limitless. All these four ways of achieving a particular result are not applicable for the limitless. Now, karma as a sadhana, as a means, can only give you these four types of results, correct? Karma, if you do something, action, either you can create something new like a pot from clay, you can purify something which is already there and arrive at something which is glowing, looks like new, bright, or you can reach somewhere where you are not already present, or you can modify, like you modify the milk and create curd. None of these results can be the limitless. That's why the Upanishad says, Nasti akritaha kritena. By doing something, you cannot get that which is not a result of any action. Then what should we do? If we cannot achieve it through any of these things, mean it has to be already there, I told you, correct? Here and now. Limitless has to be there, here and now. Then why do I not know it? The whole problem becomes different. From something to be accomplished, if it is already accomplished, still you have to accomplish the accomplished, correct? It's not accomplishing the unaccomplished. Moksha is accomplishing the accomplished. If you have to accomplish whatever is already accomplished, the problem is one of ignorance. Ignorance alone is the problem. It is already there, available, but you don't know. Something is covering. Because ignorance, when we say, ignorance has twofold effect. One is it covers the knowledge. The other is it projects whatever is not there also. Like you are walking in twilight, correct? It's not, sun has neither set completely, nor it is like light, enough light is not there anyway to see things clearly. Then what happens? You are seeing a stump of a tree, but you are not able to see it properly. You don't know that it is really a stump of tree. Then what do you think? You think it is some thief. It looks like somebody is holding some weapon and they are ready to pounce on you. So first is the stump of the tree is covered. That is called avarana. So ignorance means it has avarana shakti, we say, because it covers the truth. But not only that, it also has vikshepa. It can project. It can lead to projection. Vikshepa shakti. What is that? Now you are projecting. Since the truth is covered, you are projecting something which is not there. That there is a thief who is ready to attack you. then that produces fear. You are ready to run away, in fact. But your friend who has a better vision, he says, no, no, wait, don't worry, it's only a tree stump. Let me shine this light, this torch light, you can see clearly. So what is required in that case is only knowledge. If ignorance is the problem, knowledge alone is the solution. That's why the pursuit of moksha has to become a pursuit of knowledge. This is a very important step, I would say, in your understanding of what you are really seeking. The pursuit of moksha or liberation or freedom is now a pursuit of knowing yourself, because the problem is centered on myself. I am insecure, I am subjected to displeasure, I am wanting. All that which is centered on I am has to be relooked, analyzed, and certain clarity has to come on that. So if what I am seeking is knowledge, then I have to also understand the nature of this ignorance. See, everybody who is born is born ignorant. The child is totally ignorant when it is born. In fact, it is totally trusting also in one way, because child cannot do anything. It cannot survive by itself. The parents only have to take care of the child in every way. Then certain knowledge is gained, because we have been given these senses. So child also learns through the sense organs, whatever is there in the surroundings, correct? Objective knowledge is possible. All objective knowledge we are gaining through our sense organs, sense perception. We can see, we can hear, we can sense, we can taste. So this kind of knowledge through the sense organs we are gaining means we are learning about the world around us, objective knowledge. Then what about the subject, the knower? You are given a certain identity as an individual. Your parents have given you a name. Society has given you or has certain expectations from you, certain roles. So you take all that for granted. Yourself you have taken for granted. You have not analyzed. Whatever has been foisted on you, you have taken it, you have swallowed it as it is, and then you are leading your life. Of course, as you grow, you are having more and more knowledge about your surroundings. We study in school, all that ignorance we are shedding, correct? Knowledge gaining is nothing but shedding ignorance. Understand that. Because knowledge is already there in your teacher's head. For us, Ishvara is all knowledge. Bhagavan is all knowledge, correct? Sarvajnaha, we say. Means all knowledge already exists, but it is covered for me as an individual. So what does the teacher do? Teacher is only removing that veil, that covering. Then knowledge will become evident by itself, correct? So all teachers are also like sculptors, really. Because the sculptor is seeing a stone, on the roadside, you are also seeing a stone. You are only seeing the stone, but the sculptor is already seeing Krishna in that stone. So what does the sculptor do? Sculptor is only removing whatever is covering Krishna, correct? You think that he has created Krishna, but sculptor says, no, no, I have seen Krishna there. I am only removing whatever is covering Krishna. That is the job of a sculptor. Every teacher also is like that. The more Vedanta classes you are attending, what is happening? You are shedding ignorance with reference to yourself. Any ignorance you have, you are shedding it day by day. In every class, some insight you gain. It helps you. Of course, insights have to be repeated. Understand that. During the class, everything will be clear, but it may not last, or some other new doubt will crop up. So you have to get clarified. First, you have to know the truth about yourself. But even when you hear that, there are doubts. That means you have to get it clarified. Even when there is clear knowledge, then also that knowledge is not always available, correct? We all have a lot of knowledge. Conscious knowledge is there. In fact, all of us know that. We all know what is good, what is bad for us. We all want to be always happy only. But still you end up unhappy. You do the wrong things. Why? Habitual tendency. Understand that there are certain habits which are there in your unconscious. The conscious knowledge is not always available. The unconscious can overpower whatever is subconscious, unconscious. It is very powerful. It can overpower all your conscious knowledge if you are not alert. See, even simple thing like every day I am driving to office, I take a certain route, correct? 5 days in a week I am going in one way. Weekend now I have to go somewhere else. But if I am not alert, because driving is mostly unconscious, understand that. During driving only people do all sorts of things. Nowadays they are looking into mobile and all that, which is very dangerous. But even otherwise you are talking, you are listening to music, you are doing all other things, because once you learn driving, while learning in fact is too difficult, you think that, oh, I have to use both the feet, I have to use this hand, I have to use this hand to steer. It looks very complicated initially, but once you have learned, it becomes like it has gone into your unconscious. You don't consciously drive. And if you are not consciously driving, you will go according to your habit. You will again take the same turn, go towards your office. This most of you may have experienced, whoever is driving at least. Or something similar you would have experienced, correct? It's not that you are lacking knowledge. You know clearly where you want to go. You know the route. In spite of all that, habitual tendencies can take over if you are not alert. So you have to make effort so that that knowledge is always available to you. This is applicable to all knowledge. All knowledge you have to gain like this only. You have to know first. You have to clarify if there are any doubts. And then you have to make sure that that knowledge is always available, particularly when it is required. Most of our problem is it's not about knowledge. All of us know what is right, wrong, but still we do the wrong things because that knowledge is not available, or it is overpowered by your own likes and dislikes. Human beings, what is the conflict in our life? the greatest conflict in our life is whatever I like is either illegal, immoral, or calorific. Somebody said that. Okay. If whatever I like is illegal, immoral, or calorific, then it is a constant conflict only, correct? Because you know what is right. That's what we call conscience. There is a conscience in all of us. There is a commonly sensed understanding of what is right and wrong. Of course, even more than that, also, you know, there are laws are there. We are exposed to some amount of at least the laws of the place. Then societally also there are morally what is right wrong also is there, legally what is right wrong is there. Then there is a commonly sensed right wrong, everything is there. All that we know. In spite of that, if what I like is different, then there is a conflict. That is the greatest problem of a human being, that conflict. Do I go along with what I like or dislike, or should I go along with what is right wrong? If what is right wrong and what you like and dislike are aligned, what you like is right, what you dislike is wrong, life is spontaneously dharmic. Life is without any conflict. In fact, there won't be any conflicts in your life. But that is not the case. Most often there is a conflict, or sometimes the conflict can be even between two right things also. That is again a reflection of our own limitation, because as a human being I have to choose. In fact, for a mature person, there is no real choice between right and wrong. Always you have to do the right thing only. Only the immature person who is pressured by likes and dislikes will be giving some reasons to choose the wrong. But for a mature person, there is no real choice between right and wrong. But many times there are choices between rights. Many things look like right also. Or even in the right thing, there are many choices. Which is the best for me? That also can become a problem. Of course, in such cases, we have to only pray to the Lord. That is why our prayer, the Gayatri mantra, is about choice. That I make the right choice. Oh Bhagavan, you be in my mind and you impel me to make the right choices. That is the prayer. Every day we pray. What is the prayer? The prayer is that Bhagavan, you guide me so that I make the right choices, because our life is nothing but a series of choices. Even whatever is looking right, multiple options are there, means I have to make the right choice. But since we have limited knowledge, we don't know amongst the right ones also which is the best for me. There is a problem there. Of course, if you are not mature, you still require a certain strength to choose the right over the wrong, correct? If you are pressured, then there is a conflict, there are problems. And if you do the wrong thing, there are more problems. There is guilt, there is fear. Fear that others will find out. What if somebody punishes me? Guilt is there. You know anyway you have done something wrong. Even if you are not found out, you cannot escape from your own conscience. Guilt, fear, all these things are there. Now, this is how a human being is growing up. In all this, we have taken ourselves for granted. We have not really, we have assumed that I am this limited, wanting person. Because anyway, I was born with complete ignorance, correct? I am ignorant about myself. I am ignorant about the world. About the world, I am knowing so many things. About myself, I have been given a certain identity and I have taken that for granted and I am going along with that. So that is the life of a human being. Of course, we can also have more knowledge using inference, correct? Because as we grow, we also learn connections, sambandha. If this is there, that also has to be there because that is the cause of this. Like this sambandha, connections, in fact, we make. The knowledge of connection, invariable concomitance, we can say. That helps us to understand many more things. Whatever is not perceptually known also, we can infer. You see smoke, you say there has to be fire because smoke is the effect, fire is the cause. So wherever there is smoke, there has to be fire. That is called the invariable concomitance. And even our perception itself has improved now. Science, telescope, microscope and all that. So we have enhanced perception, we have enhanced the inference. With all that, we are having more and more knowledge about this world. And we have so many experts. Who is an expert? Expert is somebody who knows more and more about less and less, correct? Even when I was a child, we had only one family doctor. Okay, any problem you had, you went to only one doctor. Now you have a doctor for every organ, I think, or even within, like you have eye doctor is there, but even within that, retinologist is there. Or you take cardiology, means even there somebody is a specialist in some part of the heart and all that. So there are so many specialists. They all know more and more about less and less. So that is the nature of knowledge. The knowledge which we are gaining, the objective knowledge about the world, can never be complete, in fact. Because the more and more you know, the more and more you know also how much you don't know. How much you don't know also keeps on increasing, correct? Initially, the ignorance is total in the sense that you don't even know what you don't know. Then you keep knowing, then you are also knowing what all the things you don't know. That keeps on increasing. So that is the reality. But in all these things, the focus is on objective knowledge alone. What about the person who is knowing? What is the nature of that person? What is the truth, reality of the knower? That you have never analyzed, or you have taken, swallowed certain things. Avichara siddha, that's what we say. So this bondage, the limitations which I see in myself, that I take myself to be a wanting person, is not arrived at after doing analysis or anything. It is something which you have taken for granted about yourself. So this is what we say is avichara siddha. So we have to now see whether that is the truth or not. That is the knowledge which we are seeking now. That knowledge, the truth about myself, has to free me. Because what is the promise of Vedanta? Vedanta says that you are already the limitless. The teaching of Vedanta is very simple. It is an equation. What is that equation? You are the limitless. You are the cause of everything, in fact. That is the equation, really. We call it Mahavakya also. It is a great equation, you can say. In fact, any equation has to have apparent differences. Nobody gives the equation 1 equal to 1. That is meaningless, correct? Even for a child, when we are teaching some equations, we have to give something. We have to say 3 minus 2 equal to 4 minus 3. So apparent differences has to be there. Identity has to be arrived at. That is the purpose of an equation. So when this individual who is limited in each and every aspect is equated with the total, then also you have to arrive at the identity. That is the teaching. That identity has to be arrived at. There is a methodology to teach that. That is Vedanta. Vedanta, in fact, is very simple. Within the tradition also, we say that Slokardhena, I can tell it in half a shloka. If a shloka has 2 lines, in 1 line only I can tell you the teaching of Vedanta. Ardha shloka is good enough. Whatever is said in Grantha Koti Bihi, they say, in crores of books, whatever is said, I can tell you in half a line. Because in all the books also, that is what is expanded. More and more commentaries. It's like a hierarchy, correct? Our literature, there are sutra literatures are there. Certain, the subject matter itself is very simple, but then it is expanded. Somebody writes a commentary on commentary, some notes. Again, the commentary itself can be in verse. So verse will have a commentary in prose. Prose, whatever is there, again is having some more explanatory notes and all that, like that. There are lot of books, lot of literature is there. You can read your whole life also, or even 1 life is not enough. But subject matter can be understood. If you have different types of doubts, then different explanations are given to show why whatever is said in the Vedanta makes sense. But it has to make sense. Everything has to make sense to us. So that is how this Vedanta is presented to us. So whenever we know something, the means of knowledge has to be there. I already told you that all the objective knowledge we are gaining either through sense perception or through inference, which itself is based on sense perception, correct? Prior sense perception of invariable concomitance has to be there. That connection between a cause and an effect. Then by seeing the effect, you can infer that this has to be the cause. So for objective knowledge about the world, we are already born with certain means of knowledge. We have sense perception, which is called pratyaksha in Sanskritam. And one step inference is called anumana. There are also other type of inferences. Upamana also is another kind of means of knowledge. Upamana means similarity. Based on comparison also we can learn certain things. And then there is something called arthapatti also we say in Sanskrit. It's a 2-step inference. What is this 2-step inference? Devadattaha dinena bhunkte. Devadatta is not eating during the day. Okay. But he is not just Devadatta. Pino Devadattaha dinena bhunkte. The fat Devadatta is not eating during the day. You are sitting with Devadatta all the time. Devadatta is not eating anything at all during the day. But he has not lost even 1 pound, 1 kg, or half a kg also. In fact, he is gaining weight. How is that possible? So you have two contradictory perceptions. One is Devadatta is gaining weight, but you don't see Devadatta eating during the day at all. How do we reconcile this? Then he must be eating at night, correct? Otherwise, it is not possible, correct? These two things cannot coexist otherwise. So this kind of two-step inference where otherwise it is not possible, like that you arrive at, that is in Sanskritam it is called arthapatti. So you have sense perception, you have single step inference where cause and effect connection you know, and based on that you can infer. You can also learn from comparison that the whatever animal I saw in the forest is similar to whatever I saw, correct, in my backyard. The domestic animal and wild animal is having some similarity. So that similarity itself is giving you certain knowledge. That is called upamana. Then arthapatti. So all these things are there. One more thing also is added. Knowledge of absence. Okay, this thing may be look a little bit technical. But anyway, see what we say is absence is not really perceived. Only presence alone we always perceive. If you are looking at a table and say the pot is not on the table, you are not seeing the pot absence, but what you are seeing is you are only seeing the table there, correct? Pot is something you bring in your head and say that you have to bring the pot in your mind and then say pot is not there. Otherwise, what you are perceiving, sense organs are only reporting to you whatever is there. The absence is there only in your head because you have to bring a particular object which is not there and then say that it is not there. So that is a way of knowing which is not direct inference nor perception, but it is perception is involved there. So it is counted differently. Some people count it differently. Some people take it as part of perception itself. But that is also counted. It is called anupalabdhi. Because knowledge of absence is a special means of knowledge. You have to know, there is a way of knowing it. Because always not perceiving something also you cannot say it is not there. So not perceiving in a given condition only you can say that it is definitely not there. Non-perception is not non-existence. That also we have to understand. So you have to take into account a particular object and the given conditions, etc. In this condition, if this object is there, I should have perceived. But since I am not perceiving in this given condition, this object is not there. That is how we arrive at it. Okay, if you analyze it even further. Because if there is darkness and if you do not perceive anything, non-perception in darkness, in pitch dark conditions cannot prove that something is not there, correct? But if you are shining the light and still you are not seeing something, then you can say, even then something else may be covering it and all that, okay? So you have to remove that cover and still see. If after all that, if you are not perceiving something, so in the given condition, non-perception means I am not, it is not there. then only the absence is established. Since so many things are involved, that is counted separately by some people as anupalabdhi. So to know the world around us, we have all these different means of knowledge. Any knowledge presupposes a knower, an object of knowledge, and a means of knowledge. All these three things have to be there. And we have been given different means of knowledge to know different things, because any knowledge presupposes an appropriate means of knowledge. Certain things you can know through sense perception. Certain things under the given conditions you can know only through inference, because you have no way of really going and using your sense organs. Sense organs have a certain limitation with reference to the field of their action, correct? If something is happening in the mountain, I can still see the mountain and maybe see the smoke, but I cannot see the fire there. From here, it is not under my range of vision. So either you have to climb the mountain, which again may not be possible for you, or just seeing the smoke, I can infer that there is fire on the hill. So in certain cases, inference alone will work. In certain cases, comparison works. In some cases, I have to use arthapati, two-step inference. And then to know absence, I have to use anupalabdhi. Like this, to know certain things, I have to use a particular means of knowledge, an appropriate means of knowledge. So for any knowledge, an appropriate means of knowledge is required. That is what in Sanskritam we call it pramanam. Prama means valid knowledge. Pramatru means the knower. Prameyam means the object of knowledge. Pramanam or pramakaranam means the means of knowledge. So for any valid knowledge to take place, the object of knowledge, the means of knowledge, and the knower, they have to be aligned. Then knowledge takes place. Understand that knowledge always takes place. This is a very important thing to understand. Knowledge is not as per your will. Knowledge has to be always true to the object which you are knowing. Since you like apple, you cannot know orange as apple, correct? Orange has to be known as orange only. Apple has to be known as apple. Your likes and dislikes do not matter. You are free. There is no free will in knowledge. Knowledge is vastu tantra, we say. Knowledge has to be as per the object or true to the object. Your free will has no role to play. When the means of knowledge operates, your knowledge takes place. Now this Vedanta itself is looked upon as a means of knowledge. In fact, words are looked upon as another means of knowledge. So the other means of knowledge we discussed. Now we have come to words as a means of knowledge. And in that, Vedanta also is nothing but words, correct? It's the words of the Shastra, words of the Guru. How word itself becomes a means of knowledge, that we will see next week. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.